Hello friends, I'm going to work on a layout right now, but before I started I wanted to do something a little different and kind of show you the process I use to get ready to create a layout. First off, I've had this in my notebook of sketches and inspiration. This is just, I have lots of sketches and things I've printed off from Pinterest, or I've seen layouts that I really like, words are hard today, or that I am inspired by. So then this is what it looks like. So anyway, this is the one that I planned on using today. I was inspired by this layout created by Nikki Claire Creates. I'm pretty sure she has a YouTube channel. I think she creates for Hip Kit Club, but I just loved this layout. It's different, it's unique, and it has lots of layers like I love. So I'm gonna try and not create it exactly like this, but I'm gonna use this as inspiration. Here are some of the alphabets I chose. We'll see if I end up using any of them. Sometimes in the middle of the layout, I change my mind and go a completely different direction. But this is kind of what I had in mind for now. These are the pictures that I'm going to scrap. And if you can see, they all have similar shirts on. They say, first off, let me tell you, these are my grand twins, my daughter-in-law and my stepson. And the twins are 6 months old, and they're so cute. I just adore them. But Kobe and Chelsea, my stepson and daughter-in-law, have on shirts that say, "You're killing me, Smalls." And then Kason and Katie have on shirts that say "Small." So I loved these pictures and I knew I had to scrap them. So that's the pictures that I'm going to use. And you can see there's a gray tone in the pictures. There's some peachy tones. You see the baby's skin, pink from their headbands. There's black. So that's kind of the color scheme I went with. A little bit more muted colors. And here are some of the supplies that I pulled. This is the new Heidi Swapp collection. I can't remember what this is called. This just says 65, ephemera 65. And these are the journaling spots. I'm going to use these, hopefully get either one or two of these bows in from Magical Forest. Have some word stickers, and these also have photo corners, small photo corners and big photo corners, and a bunch of different word stickers in there. Storyline, that's the name of this collection. I pulled some papers from this 6x8 paper pad. Let's see which ones I end up using. A sticker sheet from Heidi Swapp. This is Stickers 51, also from the Storyline collection. Here's some of the papers that I pulled from the pad. I felt like these would go really cute with this picture. I pulled this mainly for this more muted pink tone. This was actually a Maggie Holmes paper from the Bloom collection. This is too, but I pulled this for this has a grid and kind of a watercolor effect, and the tones and the color matched. And this is Heidi Swapp. This is the gray. what's this called? Mellow yellow. So on the other side of this is a pretty yellow checkered pattern, but I'm going to use this side. I meant to mention, this is also Heidi Swapp Storyline. And then just my normal American Craft cardstock paper. So this is my plan. We will see what happens. Thank you for watching. Okay, on to making the layout. Here I am just using the cardstock. I'm going to adhere this pink watercolored paper just kind of at a slight angle, which is very different. It's not something that I normally do, but I'm drawing my inspiration from the layout that I showed you at the beginning of the clip. I will link Nikki Claire Creates down in the description box below. So here I'm distressing my edges, and you will see here in a minute that I'm not satisfied with that I want them more distressed. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do. And then I just want a strip of this black Maggie Holmes paper. And I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want it. And I also knew that I wanted another strip of paper. What I really want is a very layered look. I just feel like I love the look of layers and dimension and texture. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So here I'm pulling out the gray paper now, and I'm going to do the same. I had contemplated using that branding strip from the Heidi Swapp collection, but changed my mind. It didn't go with the shade of gray that I wanted. And here I decided on an alternative method of distressing my edges. And then I end up losing that gray sheet. Does anybody know where it is? The strip that I just cut? There it is. It slid underneath there. This is sped up a lot, but it took me a few minutes to figure out where that strip of paper was I had just cut. So I'm going to glue that down to the edge, kind of cattywampus. And a lot of this layout is me distressing and distressing. So that's why I've sped it up so quickly. That little corner right there was kind of bugging me. You'll see me mess around with that a lot. I didn't like that big gap there, but in the end, I'm okay with it. I feel like it fit in by the time I finished with it. So here I am distressing some more. The one thing about distressing this way, and part of the reason I don't like doing it, is it creates a lot of dust, paper dust, and it makes a mess. When I got through I had on black pants and they were just so dirty, and I had the little paper shreds everywhere. So that's why I don't do that very often, but I do like the look. And then I'm going to mount the pictures on this. It's kind of a real corally pink color. I don't know if that's how you would explain it, but I love that it kind of really brings focus to the photos and gives a lot of contrast with the background. So I'm determined to use those rainbows. I think that is my favorite part of this entire collection, is that sheet of rainbows. And I had actually fussy cut them. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the video, I showed the paper pads that I had torn from that 6x8 Heidi Swapp paper pad. That's where they came from. And I had fussy cut 3 or 4 of those. But there's also quite a few in the die cut pack, which I'm going through right now. And I end up setting those aside. And then I'm going through trying to decide what other things that I want to include on this layout. I end up not using very much, but not very many things from that die cut pack, but there's a few. As you'll see on the side over there, I have my title worked out. It's going to be called Meet the Smalls. And I thought about Hello Smalls, but I feel like hello is so overused. So I want something a little different. And I did end up using those alphabets that I pulled. So I was pretty proud of myself for making a decision and sticking with it. But my twins that I talked about earlier, my twin grandbabies, this is my stepson and daughter-in-law. This is their first children. So I'm saying they don't have any other kids. They just got married a couple of years ago, and then they got pregnant and they had twins. And if you can imagine, it's been quite challenging with twins, but I'm so proud of them. They have done a phenomenal job getting them on a schedule, and the babies are sweet and happy. And I just think they're not getting a lot of rest, Kobe and Chelsea, lately. So, which is par for the course of having babies in general, but having twins makes it even a little more difficult. But they are handling this whole parenthood thing like champs, and my husband and I are super proud of them. So here I decide I want another color. You noticed while I was talking about the twins earlier, I had added another strip down the right-hand side of the page on the angle of yellow because I just felt like I wanted another color in here. And I love this kind of ochre yellow. So I'm trying to decide how I want to layer this. I know that I want them in there, and I finally kind of just offset them underneath the 2 photos. That's why I don't glue my photos or adhere them completely to the page right off the bat. I'll just do the center. That way I can still layer underneath without too much problem. And then I decided it needed more layers. Imagine that. I think layers, I don't know what it is. I just love it makes you want to touch the layout and feel it. And I love the texture it creates. And to me, it makes a page feel more dynamic, I guess, and more interesting. So here I decided I wanted to add a little white and black to the edges. So I cut that floral sticker right down the middle and used it on either side. And I'm trying to decide where this little arrow is going to go. It ends up moving a couple of times, but in that same position, it just goes up the page a little bit more. That word sticker says, "You are crazy wonderful." And as little sleep as they've gotten lately, they are pretty crazy about these babies. And they just, that's what parents do. We love them with all we have, even though they give us worry and sleepless nights, but that's what it's all about. And we are blessed to have them. So here I'm trying to bring the colors down here to the corner, the bottom corner of the page. I'm going to I want to balance the layout and have almost all the colors represented that are in the rest of the layout, if that makes sense. So I just use these little strips to achieve that. So once I get all these adhered down, and one thing I failed to mention earlier is that I have already stitched around the edge of that pink paper on the two sides. And that, I love the look of it, but it also is functional in that it keeps those strips that I layered underneath it from moving. So they stay. That's why I love stitching. I love the look, but I also love that it's functional. Same for the title. That's one of my favorite ways to make sure that my titles stay where they need to stay is by sewing through them. I like the look, and I like that it's functional or it's purposeful. So here I'm starting to work on this bottom corner cluster. I add the rainbow that I love so much and the bow, and I'm adding a tag. And now, right now, I'm distressing around a little sunshine ephemera piece. And the sunshine is bringing the yellow down here to this cluster as well as the strip of paper. This dusty pink color in the bow is, I'm balancing that color out from the rest of the layout too, as well as in the top left-hand corner of the layout, that yellow bow is bringing the colors. I just try to make sure that all my clusters have a balance of color. So I just repeat whatever colors I used at the top, I repeat at the bottom. I'm adding another one of the rainbow ephemera pieces. And I also add a pop dot behind that because I want it to kind of be tucked inside the bow. I just got that art glitter glue I ordered it off of Amazon, and it is awesome. And everything that I've glued has stayed, and I love the really fine tip. It has you have to buy it separately, but it has the little metal tip that keeps it from drying out. And it has a little pin that you stick in it. That way, the nozzle doesn't get clogged, which I've had such problems with my fine liner. That thing always stayed clogged. So I wanted to try something new out. So I bought this. It's not cheap, but to me, it works so far, and I like it, and that's good. That's what I need. So I'm gluing down these little, they look like moonstone gems. They came out a couple of years back, and I cannot for the life of me remember the company. I haven't started gluing those down yet. I'm going through my gray color box trying to find, I want to incorporate some more gray in each cluster. And I thought about those hearts, but I end up not using those. There's what I'm talking about. Some of them are on adhesive, pop dots, and some of them are not. I don't want any of them on pop dots, so they come in kind of wonky, circly shapes, but they're really unique, and I really like them. So I'm going to add 3 of those in each cluster. If I can find the link to these or where I bought them, I know I bought them at a Cherry on Top. And if I can find the link and the company who made these little like moonstone gems, I will link them. So they're really cool. I haven't seen them out again since, but If anybody knows the name of them, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. So I'm just adding the finishing details, adding some glue to make sure everything stays down. And here in a minute, you'll see the next day I come and add a few more things to it, like the title and some splatters. I failed to get footage of me doing this, so I will show you here. Here's the completed layout. And here are the products I used. I used Distress Oxide inks and a couple of stamps from Felicity Jane's and some Memento ink. I took the Distress Oxide and rubbed it on a plastic sheet. Then I added a few spritzes of water to it. And with a paintbrush, I picked up some of the paint and then I splattered it over my layout in a diagonal fashion. Here are some close-ups, and I appreciate you stopping by. If you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing and hit that notification bell so you will know when I upload my next video. Thank you and have a blessed day. Bye.